2, and 1. This is WJHS 91.5, welcoming you to kind of an interesting happening in the community. In our studio is Mike. Mike is with Surf Internet. Would you introduce yourself, how long you've been from? You just flew in from Denver, but you're doing cool things right here in northern Indiana. And then there's also like some bigger picture stuff that I want to get into.
Sure.
But what is Surf doing in and around Columbia City and Whitley County?
Great. Well, thank you, Jordan. And yes, I am Mike Lozier with Surf Internet. I am Director of Residential Sales, and that includes all the different sales channels that we offer. We are so excited because we are just finishing a big giant project in Columbia City. The construction is pretty much coming to an end in the city itself in February into March a little bit, but we're very close.
So if you've been seeing the, around my place, you've been seeing the orange spray paint, the gentleman putting, it looks like 4-inch tubes into the ground that are all rolled up, coiled up, and you're like, what the heck is going on?
Right.
That is Surf's Internet with a kind of a big project that's going on. Okay, big picture, if we could back out a little bit, then we'll get into the nitty gritty of what's expected here. What is Surf's goal, really? What is the big plan, Mike? Because you guys have wonderful ideas that I think are going to do good stuff for the community. And then we'll get into updates and when we can expect construction and stuff like that to kind of wrap up.
Big picture definitely is to provide the best internet possible. So fiber to the home, which is fiber internet that we're providing, gives you a much more reliable experience with internet, both directions, up and down.
So uploading or downloading.
Same speed. So if you go, our gig is 1,000 megabits up and down per second. And that is something that cable companies or DSL, phone companies, the different types of providers, the fiber connection is the best you can get. And
I know we studied, me as a person who studied media in school and communications, they were talking about fiber to the home as being like the cool end all be all. It's like cooking with gas. And I do remember when, 20 megs upload, download, that was fast internet, fast, high-speed internet. And then they went, 100. And you got, what did you just say? Did you just say gig?
A gig is 1,000. 1,000 megabits per second. And in the future, we'll go beyond that. I mean, it's not really necessary yet because most computers can't really even handle the multi-gig speed, like 2 gigs or 10 gigs. Or, you get into businesses, that's a different story. But
that is so cool to hear.
Yeah.
So cool to hear. We are providing faster internet than your computer can handle, or your cell phone, or your YouTube video, or your TikTok, whatever it is you're doing business with at the office. I think that's great. You know why I love this, Mike? So I come from a really rural area where I even had trouble getting cell phone service, and I was out. It was a new build. There was no internet provided, and I just remember the demanding job at the time. There was no option to have that, so we were still buying DVDs. This was just 3-4 years ago, and then to go from there to spotty internet, it felt like a world of upgrade. And even though I was still waiting, sometimes, 30 seconds, 1 minute for the movie to start or whatever I was doing, it was still such a leap forward from there.
Yeah.
Percentage over percentage wise, if you're at work, even if you're waiting 10, 20 seconds for your work to load or to upload or transfer files, the productivity over hundreds of times or thousands of times of doing it at the office, if all of a sudden it turns to internet instantly in connectivity that's the same upload as download speed, I know my productivity or just the mental not having to wait feels great. But then the productivity, this is going to be a boon for the economy.
Well, it is. It is, and it is in more rural communities, small, medium-sized towns, which is what we're pretty much focused on. But working with Whitley County, for instance, we're going to be getting grant money that's going to come in so that we can actually go deeper into the rural country.
Okay, so not just like Columbia City proper.
Right.
But Well, okay. Let's get into that. Let's get into updates because we've seen the construction happening. We've seen the orange spray paint. I've seen the tubes going in. What's next? Is it north of Columbia City? Is it south? When can we expect this? Because this is a big deal. What is the news here lately?
Sure. Well, what I do know is that, and I always pronounce this wrong, Busco, but that is kind of the next target.
You heard that, Busco?
Yep, and we've been teasing them a long time that we want to come, and now we're really going to. So that should be happening within this year, if not the first half of this year, but it's getting started. And then beyond that, it's Whitley County and South Whitley and
so the other direction from yeah.
So that is happening. Now, when exactly? We have a very robust website, surfinternet.com, that you can go to. It has a construction update website. You can put your address in, and it'll bring up, is it under evaluation? Is
I'm doing this right now.
Yeah, and so when you do that, it should be able to give you an idea of what timing looks like. And if it's under construction, it's definitely within the next couple months. If it is under evaluation, that probably means it could be up to a year. And if it doesn't come up at all, that means that we're probably not ready to comment on whether that's going to happen in any time in the near future. But pretty much everything is at least out there. And I would say that what you can do, if you put your name and address in and put yourself as a lead, what that does is tells us there's demand and that we should be focusing on that particular community, and get your neighbors too. I mean, if you have friends, neighbors in the area, if everybody puts their name in as a lead, then we know that's an area we should go to.
There's an interest. There's that. So the plan is Chirubusco next. In this area, is it 5 to 10 years, or is it more like shorter than 2-ish? If you ballpark, I'm not going to quote you.
Yeah. It's always hard to get exact, but I would say we're more in the 2 to 5 range as far as kind of building out the rural areas. Beyond that, I'm sure there's even more that we could get into deeper. And
I just did it.
Goes 10. Did you?
surfinternet.com.
Yep.
And then at the top, there's a construction button.
It's easy to use.
Yeah.
And if it is live, it's an area that is already active and ready to go. You can go beyond just putting your address in. It'll pull up what packages we have available, and you can pick a package, and you can actually pick your install date.
Okay, so I just punched in my address. It looks like all packages are included at my address. Now, I'm in Columbia City proper.
All right.
Just south of the tracks. So, look at that. I could click this and, have...
You can actually get it ready to go and have an installer come and visit you. So, yes.
That's fun.
Because that just happened within 2022. Before that, it was kind of the old-fashioned static website. And now it's interactive and ready to go.
That's fun. So, if you are curious, if you're in the Busco area or if you're in Columbia City and you're like, hey, can I get this at my place? Odds are, if you're in Columbia City, the answer is yes, right? Construction's still going on.
Yeah, it's still a month or two before we finish completely, but we are almost done. So
okay. So this is where the exciting stuff happens. You had mentioned a grant in the community, so this is kind of unique for Surf's Internet. Could you briefly talk about you said grant? Is this a limited thing that's going away in 2 years, or is this... Why is a grant important?
Sure. Well, it gets us deeper into the country and into the rural areas. And that's working in partnership with the county, Whitley County. We also work with, and I always say this wrong, but REMC. REMC.
Yep.
So thank you for that.
You work with a number of people, which is why we're also having you in here to be able to talk about things.
But they are also building fiber, and we don't overbuild each other, but we work kind of in partnership to get government money to build deeper and deeper into the rural areas.
That's very fun.
And that's new. I mean, that's the government, not just county government, but state and federal government. Everybody is talking about let's get internet to everybody. So
in the United States, there's been a discussion of building up infrastructure, building for the future, not just building for something that happened 10 years ago, the population expansion, different population areas moving around and things like that. I love the idea of fiber to the home. To share with you, our listener, a little bit about what I studied in school was about fiber internet, the actual cable itself, not like the old school coaxial or phone line, which is kind of limiting the data. You can only send so much through that pipe, if you want to think about it like that. Fiber to the home works on actually light waves. Forgive me if I'm wrong.
That's exactly right. So and I'm not technical, but I know
as fast as light can go.
Yeah.
One of the fastest things in the universe, if not the fastest thing, is now what transports the internet signal to your house. So if you ever get a chance to see fiber, it looks like tiny bits of hair that actually glow. So through that, it actually sends digital pulses extremely quickly to your home. So rather than relying on electrical pulses that have to overcome the resistance of a cable, it is able to go much faster. And the fact that it goes to your house means there's no interruption, there's no truncation along the line. It literally goes to your home right up almost to the point where it gets into your device, into your Wi-Fi. So the theoretical speed is much faster than normal. I'm excited about it.
Exactly.
I'm still paying off my college loans because of this. And the fact that we have that is very cool, and that you guys are adopting basically future proofs. Speed of Columbia City will no longer be limited by the technology on the internet based off of what used to run HBO coming to your home, what used to run I'm going to dial 260-248, bump, 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 whatever your phone line dials in. It's upgrading. It's going from diesel all the way straight to electric vehicle mode. It's going from, 4-speed to automatic transmission with big dually tires on it, 4-wheel drive, and you got a little higher octane fuel in there. It's a beautiful thing.
Let me just explain one thing, because this is where it gets a little bit complicated on how things work. Once we bring it to the house, and if you wire directly to your computer, for instance, then you get all that speed at that speed, and it's consistent. Once we go into a Wi-Fi situation where we've got routers that you can use your internet anywhere in the house, but it's through your phone or a laptop that's just hooked through your Wi-Fi, then it's a little bit different. And it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It just means you're not going to get the 1,000 up and down as consistently as you would if it's wired directly to your computer. And this is where we talk to people about. We offer our Eero routers, is what they're called, and they work like a mesh network. So if you have 1, 2, 3 or more, if you have an upstairs, downstairs, if you have rooms that are heavy walled and the Wi-Fi doesn't go through the walls as easily, you're going to want to have more of those Wi-Fi routers in place. And if you use our routers, they're managed from our office, so that if anything goes wrong or you're having speed issues, you can call us and we can see directly to what's going on. Is that what's not working or what is working? But a lot of people have their own routers that they've had for years. And then, which is fine.
Me too.
It's right, and I get it. And Google Mesh or different types of routers, but some of them are old and not working at the same level. They're just not upgraded, or they're not new, and you're going to have, in some cases, a slower situation because of that.
Okay.
So it's just something to know. It's not. It's still going to be better than your coax or your different type of providers with the routers that they have. It's just that you're not going to always get the 1,000 up and down, but when you're on Wi-Fi.
Okay.
And so anyway, that's just something I throw out there, because people, we advertise all this great speed, and then they're on their Wi-Fi, and it's not quite the same. You
want to be sure that your computer isn't from 1994.
Right.
Okay.
It's just upgrades and
so
newer.
Having good information, it's good to have the complete information.
Yeah.
Okay. So overall, we've gotten what's happening with the construction, the idea, who Surf is. The office here is based in Kendallville, if I remember correctly. And we talked with Lana. I love that.
We're in Elkhart.
I'm sorry.
Right.
So we've gotten the overall big picture. We've gotten the idea of what Surf is providing as a product, as a service. How I think that's going to benefit the community. I love that. we've gotten kind of individual updates along construction and what's happening from here now in Columbia City. The services getting put in and finalized over the next couple of months. Churubusco is over the next stretch of time, probably the next 2 years is what's going out there. There's plans for South Whitley, just depending on how quickly construction happens. A little bit more soft deadlines there, but also to reach out into the community in and around Whitley County.
Right.
So that is beautiful, and the grant puts in the construction, the infrastructure that allows these speeds to stay consistent. And I do want to point out this one thing, because we haven't talked about it from a consumer standpoint. If you go to surfinternet.com, yes, you can check out when the construction is happening, is supposed to happen for your address, services that might already be available. But there's also the price that is the lock-in services that I thought was fun, that a lot of people, you might skip over when you're first going in. I just punched in my address. It was the price lock.
Yeah.
So I was seeing that for the services that I was looking at, it was somewhere between $60 and $100, I think, is what I was seeing per month. For what I was looking for.
55.
Okay.
And then it goes up to 85.
Okay.
85 is our gig.
Okay.
1,000 up and down.
And I saw that was for life. Did I read that correctly?
You did. Now, what that means is that when
I'm planning on living a long time, just FYI.
Right. That's right. And as long as you keep the same package, then that's guaranteed.
Okay.
We'll change prices.
Sure.
And new people coming in will get different price structures, or we might have 2 gig, and then that'll be a different price.
Hey.
So if you keep that 85 gig forever, then
because I'm planning on staying put.
Right. But if you change it, then you're going to get whatever price the other packages are.
But if you're in your house and you're already getting the, I believe they call it the legacy speed right now, which I'm pretty sure I can hear a mouse dialing on the other end when I go to turn my computer on. Tick, 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 tick. That's frankly amazing. So budget friendly, budget conscious.
Right.
I know I'm in my home. Maybe you have a place that you really enjoy.
And it really differentiates us from other providers because pretty much cable companies go out there every year and do a price increase. Or they have a promotional price for the first 6 months, the first year, and then it goes up $20.
Sure.
We don't do that. We are trying to be as transparent and not tricky with our pricing as possible, so people know what they're getting, and like you said, it'll stay the same.
I do enjoy that. Enjoy that. Mike, perhaps we'll have to have you in the future just as updates go to wrap up, of course. To be honest, just a little personal endorsement, I guess you could say, here from WJHS Studios. In full disclosure, Mike and Surf's Internet, of course, have donated to the school, to the radio station, to the media program. They actually help make the streaming of the games possible. They've helped us purchase a few cameras that you see our slow motion replay on and stuff like that the kids have been implementing. It's been very fun to see. Surf's Internet, and you've said this, I'll share it for you. They're here to stay, and they are interested in helping the community, not just in the school program. I thought that was great. I know it's going to help businesses and people at the house alike. Like, hey, I want to watch TV and I want to watch TV now. Yeah. I don't want to wait 30 seconds for, this new Angelina Jolie movie to like buffer in and then it's all pixelated and gross. Sure. I don't know what's been going on. When I first came to Columbus City 3-4 years ago, my internet would just shut off for like a day or two at a time. It's just like, well, it can't work today. Yep. We're playing board games, which is fine. It was great for, hanging with the kids and stuff like that. But it was frustrating when I needed to work. So I imagine it's going to be, do you have any stats, and this is totally probably outside of your realm, about business and productivity and the amount of internet usage that is currently taking place or what has been historically? Will you be able to see it? Would you know, are you this strong in the forces of the internet
testing me,
that you'll be able to see how much demand for data has been pulled from the local area? Can you get big numbers like that? Is that a thing?
We will be able to.
I know that's a weird question.
It's a good question. And it's definitely something that we're very much focused on, especially as we offer higher speeds in the future. I would say that with COVID in the last 3 years, 2-3 years, that everything's changed so much. You talked about working from home, schooling from home. all the things that happen in a house with all the devices now that are connected to the internet, the demand has gone up astronomically.
My wife's looking at a fridge that connects to the internet.
Right.
I don't know why. It feels like the food's cold, we're good.
Yeah.
But it connects to the internet. And they had talk. And so this is getting a little hypothetical, and we don't have to spend a lot of time here. Have you heard the phrase Internet of Things lately?
Very much.
The idea is that your fridge, I'm kind of bringing it up as a joke, but in the future, if you imagine your car is able to transport you to where you want to go, you set your calendar conveniently while you're cooking, you're standing at your fridge, you're just boop, 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 punching in kind of on your iPad. But your fridge device is able to connect your plans that you've made to go see a friend, travel to Indianapolis to see a concert. You're heading back home, but the milk just got low. The fridge can tell your car that, hey, we're going to make a pit stop along the way. The little robot comes out, throws it in your trunk. You're still in there watching reruns of Seinfeld in your back seat, just kind of lounging, and then your car transports you to your home.
You need milk.
And then, you need milk. and then like on the way, your daughter or your brother messages you, oh, hey, we're swinging by we let the dog out earlier, but I forgot my jacket. And it's all integrated to make it simpler. In that future, faster internet connectivity, the IoT, Internet of Things.
And things like your thermostat. I mean, to be able to turn it on if you're out and it's freezing cold.
Way to bring up a practical idea that I was reaching for.
You were going bigger, but I mean, those practical things, water heaters, your thermostat,
right,
and locks on the door, all those types of things are becoming much more interactive.
That would be nice to be able to walk up to my door and have my cell phone tell my house that I'm home, unlock the door for me so I don't have to fumble through carrying those groceries in.
Sure.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, those are all good things.
Did we miss talking about anything today, Mike?
The only thing I did want to say is that we have a local partner here in Columbia City, right on Main Street, BE Computers.
Yeah.
They said that you know them.
Yeah, say hi, John.
They're great guys, and they are set up with a kind of kiosk where you can go in and check your address, and they can help and answer any questions. And so we're trying to, again, engage locally so that we're part of the community.
Okay. So BE Computers is kind of a person that you can get into, of course, if you'd like to talk with them. Check that out. Of course, Surf's Internet. I've always dealt. You guys' customer service is top notch.
Good.
I think the team knows you got a good product. I'm excited for the community, not just as the install happens, but what this means for the kids that we have behind us here at the WJHS studios and school. I'm excited for them. In what this means capability-wise, not only education system and them at home and being able to access information more quickly and not have to fight with stuff. Ugh, I hate it when the internet goes out at my house.
Right.
That's the worst. But also what that means for commerce and what that means for communications and what that means for planning ahead for the future. So I'm genuinely excited to have that, and I'm super glad that Surf decided to, hey, we're picking Columbia City and offering our services here. Absolutely. I think that's very fun.
The one other thing I did want to say is that we do now have full redundancy, which means we have feeds coming from two different directions to serve Columbia City. We had a point in time where we only had one, and the provider was getting cut cables in Ohio that affected Columbia City. So we had those issues, but we've gone past that. We've got two different feeds, and it's much more reliable now than what we were dealing with. So it's all
very
good.
nice. Very nice.
Good stuff.
Okay. That is Mike right there with Surf Internet. Of course, if you want to see if the service is available to your house, when that'll be, hit the construction tab at surfinternet.com. Thank you very much for coming in today.
Absolutely.
Shake your hand really quick.
Jordan.
We look forward to hearing updates when we can finally throw the big switch button for all of Columbia City when it's all said and done. We might have to get one of those.
Yeah.
And looking forward to when we can do construction updates for Columbia City, South Whitley. Can't wait to have you back in the studio, Mike.